and welcome to what is expected to be a captivating event. I'm here tonight at Milan campus for this year's Hustings. We're about to hear what sabbatical hopefuls and Milan campus part-time position candidates have to say as they begin their campaigns. Who will rise above our expectations and who will fall short? Stay tuned with QMTV News, we're about to find out.
My name is Raj and I'm the current MSU President. Just a few points of order before we start. While I chair this evening's meeting, I won't be asking any candidates questions to remain impartial. However, once I hand over to Aaron Porter, I will regain the right to ask questions. We're very happy to be joined by Aaron Porter, the NUS President, at 7:30, who will be chairing the debate between the sabbatical officers. Can I please ask you all to refrain from asking any questions directly to Aaron Porter, and those who will be asked to leave the premises, because tonight's event is focused at our election and our candidates rather than Aaron Porter. The run of the evening will be with the part-time officers first, followed by the NUS delegates, student trustees and sabbatical officers. Part-time officers, NUS delegates and student trustees will all have 1 minute each to give their speech, which will be followed by 3 questions from the floor, which they'll have 30 seconds to answer it. Can all candidates please refrain from making any comments about any QMSU members of staff or any Queen Mary University of London staff? There will be free teas and coffees at 7:30 PM, while we'll take a short break before we carry on with the sabbatical debate. So we'll kick things off straight away and we'll start with the student representatives. So if I could call upon Ciara, Nabil, Nawazish, Alista, Ben and Christopher. Can I call upon Ciara first? Kira, apologies. If you would like to take a minute to deliver your speech.
Hi, my name is Kira Squire and I'm standing for student work as part of the Queen Mary. My main aims are to fight against the cuts, which are going to be devastating to our uni and our whole education system. We need to have an active fighting union to fight these. And like education is right, we need to protect it. I'll push more student campaigns on my university, particularly liberation and environmental campaigns, ensuring student voices are heard and represented. Any issues students have need to be dealt with effectively, and we need to be a strong student union. We need to take safety on campus seriously. I'll have a zero tolerance policy against discrimination and stand against any racist groups such as the BNP. That's about it. Vote Kira's violence, vote for Queen Mary.
Okay, can I call upon
Okay, good afternoon ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nabil Najjar. I'm a first year student in history and politics and I'm running as a student representative. The main reason I'm running is because I believe that student politics is very polarised at the moment and I think we need a moderate, practical candidate to stand who can unite the union and represent the students effectively and in the way they should be represented. In essence, my campaign boils down to 3 main points. Firstly, employment. Secondly, societies, and thirdly, charity. With regards to employment, I believe that getting good jobs is the main reason people come to university, and specifically people come to London. We live in the most vibrant city in the country, maybe even in the continent, and I believe we as a student union should make the most of this by really working towards encouraging employers to come to Queen Mary, run workshops, and try and make the most of our position. Secondly, in terms of charity, I have a lot of experience in charity. I used to work in a hospital for 15 months before I came here, and I believe that charity, those of us with the privilege of coming to a great university, should work to share this. Thank you.
10 seconds before the end, I'll give every candidate a little wave. Next, can I have Nawazish? Listener? Not here. Ben.
I'm a fresher at this university, so I feel like I'm in the ideal position to represent the students because first year is obviously the year when you go out and meet everybody because you don't know who the hell you want to be friends with. I know a lot of people on my course, obviously, and I know a lot of people who aren't on my course. I know people in my year group who aren't in my year group, so I feel like I've got a wide variety of people to come to and talk to. And if I'm honest, we've all had a good old whinge, we've all had a moan about what we don't like about the union. So I think that's an ideal position just to chat with people and find out about what we like and don't. I don't profess to know the Constitution inside and out. I don't profess to be a good politician, but I do think that I'm in, a good position where I can just talk to people and just find out what we actually want from the union and what we want to do. I'm not coming at this with my own political agenda. I'm not coming at this with any sort of agenda of my own. I obviously have my own opinion, but I'm not going to force that upon anybody because my opinion is only as important as the next person's opinion who I wish to represent. That's all I've got to say.
Christopher.
Hi guys, my name is Chris Smith. I'm a first year biomedical student and basically uni I've been doing like St John's First Aid and I've also been getting involved with Cub and with Quest and at home before I came to uni I took part in student union for 2 years so I've got quite a good experience with student unions. The biggest issue that I'm going for is student engagement. It's something that every student union seems to struggle with. Election, we all get buzzed up, we all love it, and then after that it tails off and the student union just becomes self-involved and they're doing it all for themselves really, because no one else wants to. You take Facebook, for example, and Twitter, massive social media tools that we're actually underusing and that we should be using to really get people involved. At the moment, Drapers has over 2,000 friends on Facebook, whereas the Queen Mary the Student Union has 150 likes. That's absolutely pathetic. And getting people engaged is what I want to do. So using that to represent things like tuition fees and stuff like that, because that's really a key issue that's going to come up next year, is something I think I want to do and I think I've got the potential to do it. So vote Chris Smith for a student representative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we'll open it to the floor for questions. Any questions?
What are all of the corporate view on these education cuts and higher fees? I mean, Queen Mary has 40% of the students coming from poor backgrounds. How do you think it's going to affect them?
I think it's discussing the fees. I think it's something that we should be continuing to campaign, but we also have to accept that the government picked us a target. We're going to have to pay £9,000 a year, and it's something that we're going to have to deal with. Saying that, our responsibility is to lobby Queen Mary. We have to make sure that what we're doing is value for money, that they're providing something that is worth more than what we're getting now, and that they have an actual contract that students can look at and agree with, and know that they're paying £9,000 and they'll get a much better degree than what we're getting for £3,000.
I think £9,000 is far too much for anybody to pay for a degree, and I think we need to fight this. We need to fight to reduce this. It's back to 3,000, or failing that 6,000. Failing this, I think that our university and our union needs to lobby for a higher standard of education, a higher standard of quality of our education to make up for the increase in fees. Should this increase go through, which it probably will.
On the issue, I'd say, if you're asking for my opinion personally, then I obviously think that the student tuition fees should be cut. But I think the student body in itself has made it clear that people don't want to see this rise in tuition fees. And I think that's what we've got to focus on, particularly in this role as student representative. We've got to concern ourselves with what the students say, what the students want to actually go forward. So in terms of that, I would say that we have to be against the cuts. Regardless of what I feel myself, or regardless of what my own agenda, I think we've got to give time to what these students think.
Oh, sorry.
I think our current student policy is free education, which we need to continue. the fees are totally unacceptable. They're going to be detrimental to our whole education system, and we need to completely fight it all the way. There's no excuses for 6,000, 3,000. It should be free. It's a right. Don't make excuses. We need free education.
Charles.
Yeah, while I admire a good list, I would say beyond the politics, which is, a reasonable debate, but if a student comes to you with an issue as a student rep, you're going to have to deal with their problems, just a general day-to-day context. What qualities do you think you can bring to the job that will make you best suited to deal with students' issues?
Ben?
I think, as I mentioned already, I've got loads of people I know, loads of friends and things like that. I mean, that sounds okay, whatever. As a fresher, that's what I'm trying to say, that I'm in a good position to know people, and I feel like people talk to me on a day-to-day basis, not because, oh hi, you're my student rep, when I talk to you officially, just because we do chat generally, we do say, hey, bloody hell, I can't believe that we're having to pay £2.50 for a drink at Draper's. Just that is somebody putting forward their opinion. And so I think that I'm in sort of a good position to go and listen. And I have my own opinions as well.
Time.
We can...
Bill?
Okay, so if I'm elected one of your student representatives, I can pledge to be open, to be honest, and to be accessible at all times. I'll do my level best to air your concerns to council, whatever they may be, and regardless of whether or not I agree with them. I can make you this promise now, and I promise you I will abide by it. And I will make sure that your concerns are all aired, whatever they may be.
I think as a student representative, I have a good understanding of what students want and students' opinions, and will fight to make sure their opinions are heard. Because I know in the past students haven't been heard and they've had issues which have not been dealt with properly. And I'll make sure this doesn't happen. I'll fight 100% to make sure they are dealt with. And I just feel like I have a good understanding of what's going on. And past experience of being a rep before in school will help this.
Time.
In my experience, I actually took a gap year and I worked in job centre for a year. And I actually, because of my age, I used to sign people on age 18, 25. So I've actually had quite specific dealings with people who've got problem marriage. I've actually been able to help them escalate problems, and it wasn't just jobs, it's housing, things like that. So I completely relate to people that come to me every day asking for help, asking for stuff with uni, and even not essentially stuff with uni. But I definitely feel that I'm a candidate, can be a student rep, and actually help people get help at uni if they need it, or just have a good time. So, vote for me.
Moving on to postgraduate officer Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades, friends, we stand today at the defining moment for education in our generation. Each of us must ask ourselves whether we will tolerate these cuts or whether we will resist. Whether we will tolerate, here at Queen Mary, the trebling of tuition fees and departmental cuts which will affect not only staff, but the very students of this institution's life's blood. Now, the government tells us that they can't fund education, that it's too expensive, that it can't be done. But if education is expensive, what price ignorance? How much does ignorance cost us? Can learning only be measured by its market price? Only cynics know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Vote for me, Michael Gilbert, as your postgraduate officer, and I will stand alongside staff and students to fight these cuts. No redundancies, no cuts. Viva Queen Mary.
Any questions on the floor? Tom?
A lot of the postgraduate students at this university are research students, so people studying PhDs and higher diplomas. What specific policies or ideas do you have to help integrate them more into student life?
I believe that as research students, we tend to sometimes become isolated in our own department. So I'll be looking to reach out to a more communal kind of education where people aren't compartmentalised. It's science or art students who but rather intermingle as one, and increasing their interaction with undergraduates through debates and shared learning exercises.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. Moving on to Women's Officer, can I please call Wanda?
It is widely acknowledged that women will suffer disproportionately from the draconian cuts of the coalition. Not only are public services being axed, many of which women are the predominant users, but it seems that they intend to cut women out of education. Britain has one of the largest pay gaps in the UK, in the EU rather, and women effectively pay more for their education than men. Nationally, specialist services such as nurseries and support centres are being obliterated. Outside of this, we see anti-domestic projects, HIV prevention schemes, shelters for the most vulnerable being scrapped. We cannot accept it, and by voting Viva Queen Mary, we will not. We want to create a strong union that's inclusive of all students. This means alcohol-free events, more discussion and debate on a broad range of subjects from feminism to Palestine. It's essential that we recognise that 68% of female students feel unsafe in the institution, and it's crucial that we address this. This means no tolerance of homophobic, racist and sexist attacks. I want to improve the quality of our representation by creating mass meetings for Queen Mary women, and this universal consumption of women has a detrimental effect on other liberation movements such as the LGBT and Black empowerment. Vote Viva Queen Mary.
Questions? Any questions in the middle? We're going to the left and the right first at a time. Tom. Oh, sorry, Charles.
Yeah, given that the Students' Union is just negotiating an extra £200 at the university, and Queen Mary's finances, as you've read the latest report, are actually in quite a healthy shape. So, if we take the cuts out of the debate, how are you going to focus more on women and not sort of campaigning against the cuts, which really, women's issues, I think, are a bigger fact? How would you focus your sort of efforts on that?
Okay, I believe that we should be having mass meetings of women from all different societies to create a better community on campus, which would mean that there would be a direct democracy of women telling us exactly what we want, like put forward the motion in council. But also we need to improve the specialist services that we have. You know, we're supposed to have a New Emotion Women project on campus, which is a specialist service for women being forced into marriage, and that's not coming through, so that's how I would address that.
Could you speak up a little bit, please?
I'm sure all of you asked terrible cases of women
I think that it's about promotion and trying to get people aware of what the effects, what will happen if your drink is spiked. I've heard that there's apparently some liquid paper in drinkers at the moment trying to show people whether their drink is spiked or not and how easy it can be spiked. But I also think it's about training our staff and our security services to make sure they know how to deal with a woman that has been spiked. And yeah, that's basically what I was saying.
Any other questions? Don't be nervous, people. You're more welcome to ask anything.
Yeah, at the moment I'm currently Women's Officer for this year, so I'm rerunning. I'm planning on hosting a Feminist Week in March to coincide with Women's Day. And so I will be bringing in lots of different speakers, having different workshops and conferences so that people understand how broad feminism is and how it can be accessible to people. So we will be doing workshops specifically to deal with Black feminists, LGBT feminists, and having like self-defense training days, etc. So hopefully lots of you want to come along to that.
Time. Thank you very much, Monica. Quickly moving on to Welfare Officer, Eduardo.
Hello everyone, my name is Eduardo Paloma and I'm running for Welfare Officer. My main focus, I've been campaigning with the anti-cuts campaign, is to
eradicate all the effects of financial hardship that students have and that students will face into their welfare. What I will aim to do regarding our diversity through our campus is to culturalize it and to celebrate it through the establishment of cultural events such as the Chinese New Year and Diwali and stuff like that. Also, there's a lot of issues with sexual health awareness. I will push for the enactment of drop-in sessions, which will be with qualified practitioners. Also, financial hardship is a real struggle that we need to fight. Vote Viva Queen Mary, vote Eduardo Palumbo for your country.
Any questions off the floor? Sam?
Right, you just said how you want to eradicate all financial hardships facing students. If you can do that, amazing, more power to you. That's quite a massive aim. How do you actually go about doing that?
Well, I think if you set your sights high, you can achieve something. I want to advertise often hidden and underexposed financial opportunities. There is a fund called the AFL, which is available to all students facing this financial hardship. I think that a mass advertisement can help them through.
Any other questions?
What's your name?
Don't be shy.
Wasn't there a sexual health clinic that was in place at least a year or two ago? Was that gotten rid of and you want to bring that back?
Well, I'm a first year and I haven't seen any of that around, and I would like to see students engage again into sexual health because it is a massive issue these days. I think that we should bring it back because it's an excellent idea and will provide the right information to students.
At the back.
Just so you know, do you have any experience running campaigns? Because worthwhile this is a pretty massive thing for the students.
As a first year, I've just come in and been with the Stop the Cuts campaign. You might have seen me around the Library Square, leafleting, trying to interest you into things. So I've got a good experience into that, about talking to people, knowing what the real issues and the real fears are about this future, which seems very uncertain to us. Also, in my days in school, I've done a lot of campaigning as well into that with politics, society and economic society.
Thank you very much. Yet again, moving on to position with one sole candidate, can I call up Darcy for volunteering officer?
Hi, I'm Darcy and I'm a second year biochemistry with forensic science student. Over the past 2 years I've been heavily involved in volunteering through the Student Union, through Provide, Reed International and St John Ambulance. I've had a lot of experience leading a number of community action days, assisting in the promotion and recruitment of new volunteers. I'm currently actually head of sports volunteering for Team Provide, and I would love to expand the basis of sports volunteering in preparation for all the students that have applied for opportunities with the 2012 Olympics. I would like to expand the promotion of Provide to make sure we can have a really wide base of volunteers throughout all the departments, and I would like to do that by using a Provide street team. I would also like to use them to raise awareness of the vital skills volunteering can provide, and I would most importantly want to maintain the fantastic reputation Queen Mary volunteers already have within the university and out.
Any questions? Tina.
I want to, well, we've done new events this year, such as Volunteering Week and the Volunteering Fair, and I want to make sure that through that we can recruit representatives from each department within Team Provide. and therefore helping promote through each department, making sure it's really well known what events we've got going on and what opportunities we can have depending on what your hobbies are, what your interests are, and your future plans after university.
Dominic.
I'm really glad to hear that you're interested in students volunteer at the Olympics. That's a favourite of mine. Can you clarify a bit more about what goes on in there? What are you going to be guiding volunteers through?
Well, coming up at the moment, we've got the London Marathon event, and a lot of our sporting events include stewarding, really a lot of communication with the public, which is obviously a vital skill and will be very much needed for the Olympic events. And definitely from September, I'm hoping to get a lot more sporting events. Obviously, being in London, we have loads of events going on, and I want to really increase the number we have, so the students that have applied from here get the most experience they can possibly get.
Kieran.
I think it all seems great, but surely a maths curriculum first. What are your ideas for, let's say, arts?
Actually, that's something I'd really like to do, is encourage volunteers to transfer their skills between Provide volunteering, St John's, Raising and Giving, and encourage. We do actually have volunteers from Barts that take place at, who come and join in our events. And I think it's a really good idea to be able to transfer people's skills from team working and leadership. And there's so many opportunities they can get involved with. So it's a transfer of skills. So people from Barts can come and join our events as well.
Thank you very much, Darcy. Moving on to Sports Officer, can I call Dominic Todd?
Good evening, my name is Dominic, I'm a second year history student. I currently am a level 2 rowing coach, so I'm actively involved with Boat Club. I'm currently the club secretary as well. It's something that I'm really passionate about and possibly maybe pursuing a career in it. And on that platform, I would like to see more coaching for all of the sports clubs in Queen Mary. I think it's something that we're currently lacking in. Professional coaches coming in, qualified coaches, but also supporting students who want to go into coaching, like myself, making sure that the funding is available for them to do that, so we can nurture our own coaches to basically bring the clubs up to standard and possibly build links within the communities as well. Yeah, that's about it.
Any questions? Yes, at the back.
Have you got any strategies for bringing the funding in? I think your general approach is really good for bringing the community in too, but with current cuts, do you see a way to do that?
I can't say that I have any strategies to bring the funding in, obviously, but if you're actively engaging with the community, you'll often find that the sporting bodies will provide funding. So there are, for most major sports, there are national governing bodies, and if you propose to them, you know, we're going to get coaches out into the local community, get actively involved, you'll often find that the funding can come to you from outside of the university as well.
Any other questions? Oscar.
You talked about people who want to go on to be coaches, which is great, but what about people who just kind of want to play sort of casually?
Well, obviously, that is something that is important because sport is something that binds people together. And just because we're actively engaging people to get into coaching and hopefully bringing up the standard of the sport, it doesn't mean that we forget the people who just want to do sport socially. But there's no reason why they can't progress in their skills in that sport anyway without having to take it too seriously. Because, like, for rowing, for example, even if people don't want to row competitively, we still want them to get to a decent standard.
How can you ensure that people who
don't want to take part in initiation ceremonies, drinking ceremonies within the sports teams can still take part without being pressured into doing kind of those activities?
Okay, well, we can, to start off with, we can actively encourage clubs to put on more sort of non-alcoholic events anyway, but then we can also make it explicitly clear. I think initiations are banned anyway, and obviously, yeah, drinking sessions can be quite high-pressured, but we just have to talk to the club captains and just try and make sure that we're not scaring people off to start off with, you know, that we are nurturing the freshers that are coming into the clubs, because eventually they're going to be the ones who run them.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to Societies Officer, Wilson. Wilson, where are you? Not here. Okay. Moving on to Secretary, Kaz.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kaz. I am a second-year linguistics student, and I'm running for the position of Minor Board Secretary. I am asking for your vote again because I believe this role needs to be developed further, and I am happy to do that. Also, I would like to be part of the restructuring of the governing of the union, which is going to take place, and I will play a role in that as well as the secretary. And I want to ensure that all students are effectively represented in this room. If I were to be elected, I would like to publicize our events a lot more than we do, because actually student council and minor board meetings are open to all students and everyone can present motions and talk about what we do. And also I would like to help the sabbatical officers and the chair with the practicalities of running these meetings. So vote for me, please. Thank you.
Questions, please. Yeah.
Well, for the UGMs, we started creating Facebook events and publicizing this out there, you know, putting posters up, leaving enough time to advertise this meeting so everybody can come. I think that's the key, really. Talking to students, like, you know, word of mouth kind of thing. I think that's what's necessary. Using Q media as well to publicize this, and the outcome as well, what gets decided and all of that.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if there's anybody else for Kieran that has a question. Kieran.
Well, at the moment, in the description of the role of secretary, there is the fact that I am currently meant to be chairing meetings of the union that I am not chairing, because the union is not a charity quite yet. Like, it's not a charity, so this forum doesn't exist yet, so I can't chair that. That meetings are not happening. You know what I mean? Like, this is a process that is, okay, well, it's a process that is taking place right now. So, we need to, when that's done, which we will...
One last question from the floor. Charles.
I've had the privilege of working with you on QM Radio. I was wondering, if you're elected again, will you take part in further debates that may come up?
No heckling from the crowd, please.
I am very, like, it's not a secret that I'm very interested in student media. I want to go into that. So yeah, of course I will be still involved with that.
Thank you very much. Moving on to our RAG officer, Ellen.
Hello, my name's Ellen Kiley and I'm running for the role of RAG officer this year. I'm a second-year international relations student and I'm currently president of Amnesty International Society and also a member of the cheerleading team. I think my experience in both charitable and non-charitable societies has led me to see that fundraising really needs to be coordinated and made more accessible to all students at Queen Mary.
So to do that, I think the profile of RAG needs to be raised on campus with a RAG room, and sports societies and clubs need to be encouraged and helped in their fundraising. I also think that charities which are already successfully fundraising need to be rewarded and recognised. I think that RAG should kind of be do for raising giving what Provide has done for volunteering and be like professional and coordinated and raise a lot more money for Queen Mary.
Thank you very much. Questions? Wanda?
I want to make sure that when we're fundraising, we're doing it for local and international charities, development charities, relief campaigns, but I want kind of that to be decided when we meet at Freshers and get together and everyone can put in what charity they want to do a vote. As long as there's a broad range, I don't really mind. Well, I want to have a RAG group which does weekly meetings like most societies, and any individual can fundraise. I'd also want RAG to kind of be a network which people can go through if they want to do their own event or they have a charity in mind which they want to do, and it kind of helps them, puts them in touch with charities, helps them make posters, so yeah.
Do you have any particular views about how RAG decides what charities to fundraise for? Do you think the whole student body or just the RAG team to decide?
I haven't really thought too much about that. I think that what we should do is do our first meeting, we'll get everyone fresh fair, try and invite representatives from all the sports societies, and then we'll decide on the charities. But from what I've seen from how other RAGs do it at different universities, you can kind of put more in as you go along. So if someone says, I really want to fundraise for this charity, then we can do an event for it. It kind of just works around what people want to do.
Thank you very much, Alan.
Can I now call upon the candidates for the Ethical and Environmental Officer, Thomas and Ishika. Thomas, go first.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Thomas and I'm running for the Environmental Ethics Officer. And what I really want to do on the campus is bring recycling to the forefront of people's minds. I mean, I live in Albertson House, which is currently on campus, and there's no recycling going on in that place. I have done some other work, some Hooley, and I've heard from student operating recycling campaigns, and students aren't quite sure what to recycle and how to recycle. So one of the ways that we're going to try and solve this is through the SIFE initiative. That would be advertising to students how to recycle and how it can encourage the youth to recycle more. On ethical issues, I think the university makes a lot of ethical decisions without such a student body. I think these need to be brought to the forefront of students' attention and realise the importance of these ethical and environmental decisions being made. A little bit about myself, I'm currently a course rep at the university, so I have a little bit of campaign experience. I'm also on the committee for a society. So vote on voice.
Hi, I'm Ishika. I'm part of the Queen Mary, running for Environmental and Ethics Officer. As a physical geographer, I have first-hand experience in the environment and fully understand how Queen Mary as a university and us as individuals need to be more involved in protecting and preserving our environment. First thing I want to do is get our universities more involved in recycling. I know we already have recycling schemes, but I think we need to promote this, and I want to do that by different bins for different materials through our lecture theatres and mainly through our water residents. I think we can act more ethically globally by increasing the number of fair trade products we have in our coffee shops, such as this one, and our restaurants. Just generally, this is our university, we have to live here, we have to learn here, so why not make it a better place for us that everyone can enjoy, and yeah, vote People Queen Mary Racial Club.
Questions? Craig.
Welcome one of you to a post what would you intend to work specifically with societies and clubs on campus that are environmentally related and how can you engage with them and help you?
in promoting and getting more students involved in just simple volunteering work like picking up litter, cleaning out the canal that we have. Even if in a lecture room you find a piece of paper on the floor, just simply picking it up and throwing it in the bin, recycling bin. That's all you need to do to make the environment a little bit better, and you make yourself feel a bit better as well.
As Environmental and Ethics Officer, I'd like to work with a whole range of societies to try and improve their environmental views. However, in particular, the SIVE volunteering programme is trying to introduce the Green Initiative, which is telling people how to recycle and how to recycle effectively, particularly in halls. Another society which I believe to be involved environmentally is the Tea Society. And these are trying to look at environmental issues globally, so I think there's a good way we can look at societies how to recycling, be more ethical at a local scale, but also try and help charities or societies that want to have more of an international impact.
Questions?
You talk about increasing the use of persuasion. Would you be willing to bet a boycott of products made by Coca-Cola and Nestle?
I don't think we can ever say as a students' union we're going to boycott a particular product. However, I think we need to bring to the forefront of the students' mind issues that surround these products, and do we really want those to be present in our stores? I think there's something that meetings should be held on. I think potentially a student referendum should be held on, where the student body wants to go. An individual like me cannot make a single decision on whether to stock a product or not, but collectively as a university and as a student body as a whole, you definitely can.
By promoting fair trade, I wasn't saying that you shouldn't go out and buy whatever. I was simply saying that I want to advertise it a bit more and say to students, make it clear to students that there are other options available to you and the background behind it. And the fact that if you buy fair trade, it does make you feel a bit better. The fact that you've helped someone like completely outside the world to you. That's all.
Thank you. Last question from Emma.
I personally think the largest problem with recycling, especially in halls, is more to do with laziness rather than lack of facilities. How do you suppose you could engage freshers and make them interested in a subject that's not really at the forefront of their mind?
I actually asked someone in halls about this, and they thought an idea was maybe like, I know it sounds really silly and like really gimmicky, but like prizes for like the best halls. I don't know how halls works, I don't live there, but someone was saying maybe if we can get a student union working with us, like maybe £50 bar tab at Drapers, or just something silly like that, just promoting government incentive. That's all I can say.
I also agree that initiatives are probably a good way to try and encourage students. However, I think there needs to be much more active campaigning to bring the reasons why we're trying to encourage students to recycle to the student information. I also think another issue, having talked to a number of students, is not just laziness, but the fact that the recycling bin is only emptied once a week or once every 2 weeks in some halls, where the normal rubbish bin is emptied daily. So if students actively recycle every single day, it's often filled up before it's even collected. So that automatically discourages students.
Thank you very much. A round of applause. Now we have another single candidate for the campaigns officer.
Hello everyone, my name is Ozzy and I'm running for campaigns officer. Basically, as campaigns officer, I think my job will be more important than ever given the current political climate. In the past, the role may have seemed a little excessive. I know in the past year we've already sort of almost no confidence in the previous campaigns officer, and I think our unions really suffered because of that. And I think now my skills are probably needed more than ever to ensure that our union is properly mobilised, not only to defend itself, but the university as a whole. I think through my previous experiences in school and just various activities in the community, I've got extensive knowledge on how to run an effective campaign, and I think that's something which is absolutely vital to increase involvement in the student union. And it's not just the larger political issues I'll be dealing with. As your officer, I'll ensure that any student who wants to run a legitimate campaign will be given the time, adequate advice and the resources that are locked up in our student union so they can reach as large an audience as possible. So vote for Ozzy Amir, vote Viva Queen Mary, and let's take back our union. Thank you.
It's been argued in the past that campaigning should be a part of all 36 student council members' roles, as well as all 5 sabbatical officers, and not just the responsibility of one officer. I'm wondering how you're planning on taking the whole team, getting everybody involved, basically.
That's a good question. Well, it's clearly obvious that every man and his dog wants to run a campaign around here, and I think that's really obvious. But I think my role will be mostly with liaising with different officers, liaising with the sabbatical officers, with the student council members, to ensure that, resources are properly coordinated. I think, if someone wants to run an environmental campaign and, they're thinking, okay, how do I run this? Do I talk to either the VP for comms and get the media out there, or do I talk to the environmental and ethics officer, or do I talk to my student representative? Who do I talk to?
Time.
So I think, yeah.
Kieran and then Craig.
What would you do to mix with other universities and similar names, not only
Well, I think first of all, my primary focus would probably be here at Queen Mary. I think, especially out campaigning today, there's a level of apathy at this university which really gets me down. I think, first of all, we need to engage our students more with campaigns. We need to, rile up our own students, and then we can say, look, okay, we're now engaged with student politics. We're now engaged with all these various campaigns. Let's take this on a greater scale. I think if we're, over at other universities, campaigning there, then, we sort of neglect our own students.
The last campaign officer was fired. Depends on the reasons why it wasn't. That didn't like the campaigns that we had in this manifesto. You facilitate and get yourself involved in campaigns after the manifesto if the students are necessary.
With the greatest of respect, I believe that the last campaigns officer was a bit of an idiot for thinking that. I think if I'm elected on the back of the student body. It's the student body who've put me where I am. So if there's a campaign that's not on my manifesto, it's a legitimate campaign, it's not something hateful or harmful, then that student has every right to demand me to do my job that I've been elected to do and run the campaign for them. I might not agree with it personally, but I'm the campaigns officer, that's my job, and I will do my utmost to make sure that I actually do my job properly.
Can Andrew, running for Black Student Officer, please come to the podium? No Andrew? Okay. So we'll move on to the International Officer. Can I have Vayana Suraj Lulia, apologise if I mispronounced that, and Ali, please.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Milana Borisova and I'm from Bulgaria. I'm a first year law student at Queen Mary and I'm running for the position of international officer. Well, if I get, this is my 6th year in the UK, so I really know what are the ups and downs of studying abroad and living abroad, so I believe I'm suitable for the position. And if I get chosen, I have 3 main objectives. First, to promote multicultural environment through the support of all the ethnic and national societies at Queen Mary. Also promote greater respect towards each other, like organizing an international day, so we can all appreciate that we live in a multicultural environment and that we can learn from each other and see others' points of view as well. And my third objective is to promote just better understanding among us. Yeah.
Just for my candidates, when I wave my sheet, you have 10 seconds to go, so you don't have to stop when I wave. Suraj.
Hey guys, I'm Saurabh Shiban, second year economics student. One of the most remarkable things about Queen Mary is its multicultural nature, manifest in the vast array of countries our students stem from. It truly is a global university with alumni all over the world. Having held positions of importance, displaying qualities of competence and trust as the assistant head boy in my previous school and the elected coach rep for both year 1 and year 2 of my department, I feel I can contribute to, organize and improve the experiences of the student body as a whole. And 3 main things I'd like to do if I win are: first is integration of international students into societies more, and second is providing an effective platform for campaign, and third is develop a comprehensive pack for international students on arrival.
Lilia.
Good evening all. My name is Yulia. I'm an international student. I hope my experience could be useful for this position. And firstly, I think that thanks to agreement to grow big state and take into account that Queen Mary, one of the largest universities, and half of the students from international country, nobody should be alone. And the individual is weak as Robinson, and only in community with others can be done a lot. My ambition that the great and good deal could be achieved only with a big community of action. I think I can be useful for this position due to, I think, if somebody thinks differently, it's not only enrich me. I think the basic of our international community should be a person who above all of us. Thanks.
Last but not least,
Hi everyone, my name's Ali and I'm a second year engineering student. When I first came to this country, it was a different experience, seriously. I had no friends, no family, and I was looking for a place to live. So I guess I have a good experience of handling on my own. So I guess I can help everyone. Students who are applying to Queen Mary, students who are applying to Queen Mary and they are facing problems here regarding finding accommodation. Recently, our university stopped extension on fee. We are already paying £10,000 per year, plus accommodation, plus everything. And I want to stand against that. It's unjust for students. We won't, okay, we can pay 10,000, but at least give us time. And secondly,
time. Any questions? Ozzy.
How will you go about promoting international students integrating into schools and society?
Alex, go first. So, international students. First of all, we can focus on making good friends. Then comes sports, basically. When someone comes to a different country, different university, there are more problems than sports. Obviously, I don't like sports myself, but I will appreciate students to go for it. Thank you.
You will win, bro, don't worry.
As for me, the sport is like the main part of my life, so I'm like, I participate in different kinds of social organization, sport organization, and I think it's possible to have a team as great as international students and make the competition and explore this competition not only in part of the Queen Mary University but in the part of English University. So I think it's a great idea and I hope to make it.
Can everybody please please respect the candidates talking, no booing or heckling please, or you will be asked to leave. Suraj.
Hey guys, sport is such a team-building activity. It's about the individual as well as the team. So getting international students involved into such a confidence-boosting activity is paramount to success of an international officer. And the best way to do this is to hammer the fact that sport is so important into making you so important and useful to make new friends and get to know people better, especially with information types. Okay.
Well, I don't believe that when playing sports you have to separate in different cultures and nationalities, because sports is meant to unite. But maybe we should offer like a greater variety of sports than the common ones like volleyball and basketball. So yeah, I believe more sports from different cultures so people can experience different types of sports.
Any other questions?
I've experienced with my flatmates that international students suffer from nostalgia sometimes, and I see them down, and I want to help them, but there's no way to resolve that. How would you make their life just a little bit better in that respect?
Like I represent from international students, I know a lot of my friends, we educate on the pre-master program, so all the students from international country, and sometimes we need to share our experience, and some people know how to resolve this problem, and I think that international officers, they should take the possibility to people to come to this place, let know their problem and try to find the result together, only in this way.
Yeah, thank you. Nostalgia, I mean, people who come from different continents, it is all right to feel a bit nostalgic, especially for the first few months, and it comes into it's my responsibility to include the key issue being integration. So even if international students feel nostalgic for a couple of months, joining societies and getting involved in clubs should help in time. Yeah.
First, I want to say that it's a very good question, because the first year when I came here, I was feeling homesick all the time, and the thing that helped me the most was talking with people, and I believe that we should establish like a support team where people can just go and chat with somebody, because this will help them integrate better, because often international students, they stay within their own groups, and I believe that we should all mix.
I don't think some students go through this. Everyone goes through this. We miss our families, we miss our friends, but it's time to stop talking, making good friends with them. That's how we can help them. Stop like moving around in groups. Give them a chance. Start hanging around with them. That's what that's what can help them.
Stop calling them freshies!
Yeah. And making good friends with them. That's the basic need. Whenever someone comes here looking for good friends, everyone's already grouped up and they don't want to talk to them. That's not going to work.
Regardless of the candidate being your friend or not, can you please not heckle during their speech? Last question. At the back.
What experience have you had in participating or in running sessions for helping to integrate international? Just to know like what your experience is.
In terms of running and helping people integrate, I am the coach rep, so responsible for a vast amount of people in the economics department, both year 1 and year 2. In my previous school, I was the assistant head boy. Once again, people from different cultures, and it was my responsibility once again to get everyone involved in sports, in literature, everything. So I think I can do a swell job. Thank you.
greatest experience was being in a boarding school for 5 years. So I met people from over like 50 countries. I've been traveling a lot, so I know how to accept different types of people and their views. Also, I've been holding many positions at school, like president of the National Honor Society, being an editor at the newspaper, so I know how to lead a team and how to help people and speak with them.
This is my first time going for something like this, so I guess I don't have any experience. But I have 1 year suffering experience. I have no friends, nothing, so I think I can change things around here.
In my previous university, I was representative of like international part of my university, and each year I am traveling with some group of administration from our university to another country. When we like speak with another students, try to resolve any problems and make debate on this question. Nowadays we have some group of the students in my pre-master course, so we try to share the experience, because almost who come this year, the skills of the English is not so good, and sometimes the experience previous people can share.
Big round of applause for all the candidates. And finally, moving on to the last position of party officers, Chair of Union Council, we have Eleanor.
Good evening, my name is Eleanor Allen, I'm going to run as chair this year. I'm currently a second year history student, and I'm sure you'll all agree it's been really inspiring listening to everyone who's so passionate about an individual role tonight. I think my role, as exciting as it is a bit more general, and I think it's quite important that as a chair I have the ability to be impartial when I need to be, and then say if there's a tie in the decision in the council, I can also express an opinion then. So in order to do this, I think it's important to be a well-rounded character. I think I am a well-rounded character. Working in ground, I think I've got good communicating skills. But yeah, I really like to get involved in the student union. I'm a course rep for history this year, and I've really enjoyed being able to be a voice for people that don't know how to vocalise it or need a listening ear, and I'd really like to develop that to make our union a better place.
Questions? Going once? Oh, there we go, Craig.
Will you be afraid to give just members of the council who refuse to exercise the democratic of the positions I will chair the council?
No, I think it's important in my role that I'm able to enforce any disciplinaries if it's needed. Part of my role is to be able to ensure that regulations and bylaws are met, and so I do think that that's an important part of it, although I think everything will be discussed on a case-to-case.
Thank you. Anybody from around this area before I go back to Kieran again? Please?
Oh, go on.
Kieran.
This year, council being quite much trapped down. What do you do to make sure it's easier to find out what it is, hands-on, and
well, I definitely agree with you, because I wasn't involved this year and I didn't really know much about it. I think for all of us, email, Facebook are probably the best ways. I mean, the internet is probably what we all are on most of the time. I think posters around university and generally social events, just increasing awareness of it, making sure people know the dates, and ensuring that people know they're welcome to come to it.
Currently, the way it works is that you can have a UTM, but the council can kind of veto what the UTM votes. So do you think that as a councillor, that's right or democratic as well?
I think it's quite difficult, because obviously the UTM is really important, because it represents the vast majority of opinions. I think also the whole point of the council is that it's more people with specific interests or knowledge. So I think it's probably a mixture of both, and that it should also be taken into account what the UGM think and what the council think, and hopefully there should be coordination between that.